Welcome to another episode of the Healing Poetic Podcast. I am your host, Kia McLean, and thanks again for those that have joined me and continue to support the podcast. Thanks for those that are new and coming onto the podcast. I truly appreciate your energy, your attention, your support, whether it's listening to the podcast and going out to the website and supporting my products and books, or if it's just listening to the podcast and sharing with others. Excuse me. I just truly appreciate you. I cannot say that enough. So today's topic is going to be about trusting yourself without having the need to have people support your decision or your belief or your thoughts. So I've I've kind of been paying attention to a lot of things that have been happening this year, last year and this year. One of the things that I've noticed is a lot of truth has started to come out about things and people and situations. And for me personally, the truth was coming out to me and things were getting revealed to me. And I was just staying silent about it. I was observing, I was adhering to what the spirit and the energy and what I was feeling was telling me. And I walked away from situations. I left people where they were. I left places where they were. I left situations and scenarios where they were. And I didn't feel the need to speak on it. I didn't even feel the need to have conversations with certain people. Because one of the things that I would do in the past is I would ask other people what they thought about a particular scenario and or situation. And most of the time what would happen is people would say to me that maybe I'm jumping the gun. Maybe that's not really the case. And people were basically trying to talk me into doubting myself, my intuition, and what I believe to be the truth. Now, no one can make you do anything that you don't give them the power to do. And I did recognize that I was giving people power to have an have a say or have thoughts about my experience and what I was feeling. I knew that I was not crazy. I knew that I wasn't creating certain scenarios. I knew that what I saw, felt, and heard was accurate. I knew that I was not deceiving myself. I knew that I was being deceived. I knew that I was being lied to. I knew that people were pretending to like me, or people were pretending to be my friend, or people were pretending to give me insightful or even intelligent advice. Some people were portraying themselves to do that. And the moment that I started to trust my intuition and the moment that I started to understand that people really thought they were pulling the carpet from underneath me, because there are many times that I would pretend that I didn't see nor hear certain things because I was so engaged and active in that space. People had no idea that I was also observing, that I was also paying attention, that I was also hearing. So, what happened as a result of that was clarity started to happen for me. And when that clarity happened, it allowed me to understand and see that it was very necessary that I just be in tune with what was happening around me. I have always struggled with connecting with people that just may not be for me for whatever reason. And I don't need to go into all the different scenarios, excuse me, and reasons as to why that may be, but you may not just be a person for me, and I might not be a person for you, whatever the reason is. Okay? We don't need to go into the what the reason what the reasoning is. Just know that there are reasons that you're not for certain people. And so I would notice these things, but I would always want to hold on. I would always want to continue. And I had to start embrace seasons. I had to embrace this is seasonal, allow it to be seasonal, accept what it was in that moment, understand that that's just what it is. A lot of connections that I've had with people have been due to proximity. So, because of school, I have certain friends from school, but that did I excuse me, but did I really believe that they were my friends as I got older, as I started to experience more people and more situations? Certain things were revealed to me, and I had to be honest and say, you know what? I like that person. I think they're a great person. I think they have great attributes. They're just not my person. And by accepting that and understanding that, you get to understand that there are people and places that you no longer want to be in. You want to be in authentic spaces with authentic people. You want to be in spaces where people are being honest, where people are being accountable, where people are understanding their role and that they don't have certain access, they don't have access to you in the way that they may desire. Understanding boundaries and respect. And so when I notice certain things about people, and I may bring it to your attention and I may not. Now, here's where the divide is on my positioning with this. Certain things I'm not going to bring to your awareness because if I identify that this is your behavior and your personality, I'm not here to try to change that, especially when we have a certain type of connection. If we're really, really close, I'm going to say something to you. If I feel like this is a surface level friendship or connection, or I feel like that there's other underlying issues here, I'm likely not going to come to you and say, hey, I've noticed that you did this and you did that, and this was that. I'm not going to take up my time in doing that. So, this is where I'm probably different than what some people may prefer because I've heard people say things like, well, I think that it is mature of you to have conversations with people and relay that to people. And so it's very important that you make the distinction between what is worth your effort and what is not. Certain things are not worth my effort. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie to you about it. Certain things are not worth my effort. Certain people are not worth my effort. I feel like people should be who they are. And if I find that that is a personality thing with you, you are, of course, entitled to behave the way you want, to be however you want to be, to present however you want to present, but you just may not be my person any longer. Now, some people may not care about that, while some people do care about it. I think that one of the things about me that my very, very closest people say is, hey, if people don't know right off, they won't know. I'm very honest and direct very early on with people. I talk about um, expectations, but no one owes me expectations because I feel like everybody should be who they are and comfortable in who they are. So if you are a person that has bad integrity and character, you're likely just not going to be connected to me. If you are on the surface pretending or acting or displaying certain attributes, it's going to eventually come out. And once I see it, feel it, and know it, I am done. It's time to be honest about what we're noticing with people, what we are feeling from other people, what we what we feel is extremely important, because just like we should be very careful in the people that we date and the people that we decide to spend our lives with, you should be just as careful about friendships, partnerships, even acquaintances. You should be just as careful about those types of connections, because people are really out here playing games. People are really out here pretending to like people that they really do not like. I have always seen that as dangerous, because I've had several situations where people have stalked or been obsessed. And even though certain things don't make sense to me, because in the past I would be in denial. No one's jealous of me. No one's envious of me. No one is hating on me. I would say that all the time, because it did not make sense to me that someone would be jealous, envious, or hate on me. I didn't feel like I had anything that someone needed to be jealous, hating, or upset with me about. And so I would just always say, there's no way that person feels that way. There's no way that person is behaving that way because of that. And then I had to have a reality check and be honest that there are people that feel that way. There are people that behave that way. There are people that's in that energy. So understand that there are going to be instances where you are going to encounter people that way. And the best thing you can do is be honest about those encounters, be honest about what it is you see and feel, and don't be tricked or have what I call false positive toxicity. That is when you want to be so positive and so much in denial about other people's poor behavior because you're positive, right? You really are, because you have character and you have high integrity. Then you take away your personal experience. That's your personal experience. Don't allow anyone to take that from you. I've had people try to gaslight me. You're not experiencing that. Nobody's behaving that way towards you. You made that up. You think somebody cares that much about you? You think that it's that serious? So people will do those types of things because they're trying to gaslight you. They're trying to make you feel like you're less than, that you're nothing. So you have to get to a space where you understand that, okay, I know what I feel is real. I know what's happening is real. Because when you care more about what other people's perception is of a shared experience, they're not living it. They're not experiencing it. You're sharing only a portion of what's happening, and they're telling you that's not true. That's not what you're experiencing. So the lesson here is stop taking what other people say to you about your experiences as the truth, because they will try to make you feel crazy about what it is you feel and see and know. I'll give you a few examples before I close this out. I'm not going to share poetry on this particular episode, but I do want to share this particular topic of conversation because it's important that we acknowledge that what we feel is true, that we start to believe in our feelings, that we believe in our intuition, that we believe in the vibration of the energy in that room. Believe it. Those things are put in place to protect us. You do not need to go to another person and ask another person, well, this is the scenario and what happened, and da, 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 and what do you think about it? Because sometimes you go to the very person that wants to manipulate you and use you in the same way. So they're going to gaslight you and tell you that you're overreacting. They're going to tell you that that's not right. They're going to tell you you're being too sensitive. They're going to tell you all these things because they want to have the opportunity to gaslight you and do you the same way. So, a couple of scenarios that have happened to me over the years. I had a young lady that I had become cool with, and she was friends with a very close friend of mine. And me and her hit it off, and we got to hanging out, and um, we became close fast. And what I started to notice was she started to speak ill of the other friend who had been my friend for a very long time. And I started to feel like, I wonder what this is about. I'm thinking that she wants to cause a wedge in between my friendship with this other person. I'm also feeling like she's jealous of my connection with this other person. And so, again, at this time, I'm a person that could not fathom a person being jealous, a person being vindictive, a person being a hater, a person being nasty for no reason whatsoever. I couldn't fathom that. That just did not make sense to me. Even though I knew that there were instances where these types of things happen, I didn't want to accept it. That's just the truth. I didn't want to accept it. As a result of me not wanting to accept certain things, it cost me. It cost me, could have potentially cost my friendship with that particular person because she noticed it, but she never spoke to me about it. She just noticed it silently. Till eventually I recognized, oh, this person is really trying to cause a problem with me and this other friend. And then when I was talking with someone else about the situation, they were trying to gaslight me and say, that's not what it is. Why would she want to do that? Who do you think you are? What kind of friend you think you are that she would try to do that? And I'm sitting here like, well, damn, how did this reverse on me? Okay, that's one of my lessons about going and asking someone else about a scenario. And again, they're not going to get the full story. They're going to get a part of the story, a portion of the story. So fast forward, many years later, I meet a friend, I meet and connect with someone that becomes a friend, and I'm noticing certain behaviors in them. And I'm like, well, this is weird. Why are they behaving this way? Why are they doing this? I noticed particularly that they would behave one way around me, and then I saw them behave a different way around another group of friends. And the way that they behaved with the other group of friends led me to believe that's truly how they are, because these are friends that they knew for years. And it was very toxic and negative, something I do not tolerate. It was very toxic, it was very negative, and it was an immediate turnoff for me. I continued to deal with this person for a little while longer, but honestly, my spirit would not allow me to stay connected to them because I felt like I didn't really know them the way that I thought that I did. When I saw them be performative the way that I did with these other groups of people, when I saw how nasty they spoke to people and how they behaved, I wanted to have nothing else to do with them because I don't do drama, I don't do mess, and I certainly don't hang with people that behaved in a way that I used to behave, that I've healed from, that I've done the work for. I'm not interested in that. And so I came to a place of understanding to trust myself, honor what I feel, and disregard what anybody else's advice was, what anybody else's thoughts were, what anybody else's perception was. Most recently, I've decided to kind of step away from some things that I was heavily involved in. Why? Because I had to start to trust my intuition. I had to start to trust what I was seeing, the behaviors I was seeing in people. And I needed to stop doubting myself about what I believed, what I felt. My intuition has never, ever led me down the wrong path. My bad decisions have. My not trusting myself has. And so I got to a place of understanding that regardless of what other people may think or feel, I need to do what's best for me, even if that includes dismissing people who I once, at one time, had relationship with, had a friendship with, had a partnership with. It's as simple as that. So my message to you is learn to trust yourself. Stop doubting what you feel. Stop making excuses for people. Stop giving people an out for bad behavior. Everyone makes mistakes. No one is perfect. But at my tender age, I am no longer interested in people that behave poorly and don't hold themselves accountable, for people who do negative and toxic things, for people that don't acknowledge your feelings and what you're experiencing, for people that try to downplay or make fun of your experiences. I no longer have time or space for those people. Someone said to me that I was pretty harsh at how I moved and how I made decisions pretty swiftly. What I say to that is I am hoping that everyone on the face of this earth, especially those that can hear my voice, get to a space of loving themselves so much that they could care less what other people think they should do for them. I'm going to make the best decision for me, even if other people don't understand it. I don't make decisions for other people to understand anymore. I did that for a long time. Everyone should make the best decision for themselves. If that includes doing things that other people may not do, that has nothing to do with you. Do what is best for you. Disconnect from people that you need to disconnect from. Don't go to places that you don't need to go to anymore. Respect the wisdom that you have with your discerned spirit. Trust it and respect it. Because if you don't, you will find yourself making decisions that are very difficult for you to try to recover from. I've been there and I've done it. So, as always, thanks for tuning in. I know this was a pretty serious topic and conversation, but my hope is that people begin to step away from what other people think and what other people feel and what other people have to say and go inward and care more about themselves. You have to have that level of self-love, because that's all it is. It's high level self-love. Love yourself more so that you can begin to trust yourself 100% unequivocally. And as I've stated, I won't be sharing poetry today, but tune in for the next episode. Continue to support the podcast, share it out with your friends and family. And you can always go out to the website to purchase any of the books or any of my products at www.kiascoaching.com. Until next time, peace.